nothing to anybody other than the voices in his own head that have propelled him to be him. You cannot, or at least you should not, be able to go backwards in legacy. And by that I mean by continuing to play, by continuing to be the man in the arena, you should not even be eligible to be in a worse spot than if you had just quit. And so I don't hold the Joe Namath's time with the Rams, or Johnny Unitas' time with the Chargers, or certainly Joe Montana's time with the Chiefs, where he was actually quite good, or the Emmett's time with the Cardinals, or Jordan's time with the
Favre?
Well, hell no, with Favre.
They went to the
NFC Championship game, but after that, but no, you should never go backwards by continuing to compete. It should never be incentivized to stop until you want to stop. Like, you shouldn't look at Jordan and be like, well, you know, I mean, he was unbelievable, but he was only 20-some a game with the Wizards. Who gives a damn what he was with the Wizards? We know what he was with the Bulls. And what Brady has done will never be duplicated by anyone. I would bet any amount of money on this. You will not see another quarterback in this unless they change football to where there's no salary cap. In a salary cap era, go to a Super Bowl every other year and win a third of the Super Bowls in the time he's played. That's what his numbers are. 18 seasons that he's played, because I'm going to throw out the year he blew out his knee. Went to 9 Super Bowls, that's 1 in 2 appearances, and won 6 of them. That's 1 in 3 victories. It's unprecedented. And the only semi-asterisk some people try to apply to it is, well, he had Belichick with him the whole time. Man, show me the athlete who has won a boatload of rings without a great coach alongside him. Honestly, the answer is just LeBron. It's the only one. Because, Montana didn't win all of them with Walsh, but that got set up.
Yep.
Bradshaw won them with Noel. Aikman won his first 2 with Jimmy Johnson, his last one with Jimmy Johnson's team. Bart Starr won them with Lombardi. Jim Kelly, I know they didn't win the Super Bowl. Jim Kelly went to 4 with Marv Levy right there alongside him. This is how these Kobe and Shaq with Phil, Michael with Phil, Kobe and Powell with Phil. This is how these partnerships go. And so, to me, Brady's got nothing left to prove. I don't begrudge him the fact that he wants to. I think it's amazing and honorable, but there's nothing he can do to further prove to me something he's already proven. He's the best football player I've ever seen.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Nick. I don't think it takes away from his legacy just because he's still fighting past his prime. I think Tom Brady's trying to prove that even beyond his prime, he can still put his team in a position where they can compete at a really high level. So I think that's what he's using as the internal motivation. But we're always going to get into the conversation of who deserves more credit for the dynasty, right? I mean, in sports, we do that. Whether it goes really well or it goes really badly, we always want to assign blame. With the Dallas Cowboys, we were doing that with their season in 2019, trying to figure out why they underachieved. Is it more Jerry Jones' fault? Is it more the coach's fault, Jason Garrett? Is it Dak Prescott? I mean, the same thing happens when you're looking at greatness. With the New England Patriots have been the last 20 years, people want to try to figure out, okay, is this more Bill Belichick or is it Tom Brady? I mean, I just look at it and appreciate both of them for what they've done. Bill Belichick is the greatest coach we've seen in the National Football League in the Super Bowl era, and then Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback ever to play the game. And I can appreciate both for what they've done, and just because they've worked together, it doesn't take away from what either of them have done. So from that perspective, I don't think Tom Brady has anything left to prove.
Yeah, he has nothing left to prove. Absolutely nothing left to prove. What I respect most about Tom Brady, and I think is just unbelievable about Tom Brady and why he's had so much success year after year after year, and we call that stacking success, is his ability to reboot and manipulate himself, his own mind, into thinking I still got everything left to prove. I haven't done anything. Like, Chris, you know this. How hard is it to have success and then to say, you know what, I haven't accomplished anything. To not allow that sense of entitlement to even subtly creep in. It is so hard to do that, and he has done that year after year after year. And so what I see and what I hear when he says, I still have something left to prove, is him not liking what he put out there this past season. in terms of wins and losses, in terms of his own personal statistics, but just overall, what I was unable to accomplish is not my standard. And I got to do it again.
Or what he hasn't been liking, what he's heard. For the first time, he's coming off a season, maybe a little bit last year, but where there are doubters out there about his skill level and naysayers about what he has left in the tank. He has maintained for a couple years now he wants to play until he's 45. No one seems to think he can do it. I think that's what he wants to prove, that he can still play. I don't know if we're talking so much about if you want to separate who gets the credit or not. It's how much longer he can continue to win. I wonder what his Super Bowl, if he could win a Super Bowl without Bill Belichick, what that would do for his legacy.
Well, yeah, for both of these guys, if either one wins a championship without the other one, it will further cement them where they already are. I guess the point that I'm making is I can see this on the horizon where Brady does leave and fails, and people will use that as an arrow to sling at him, and I don't think that will be fair. I have been as critical as anyone about Tom Brady's level of play in 2019, much to the chagrin of many of my friends and colleagues. But none of that, to me, lessens who he's been. He's 42 years old. And that is, to me, that is the start and the end of it. He played this year like an all-time great 38-year-old. He played better than, forget better than a 42-year-old supposed to play. He played better than the vast majority of guys in their late 30s are supposed to play. The fact of the matter is, it is a young, how old are you when you retired?
33 years old.
33 years old. How old were you?
32.
32 years old. He's a decade older than you guys when you retired. You guys both won championships. You guys were both excellent players, had great careers. He's played a decade longer with all the scrutiny and the hardest position with respect to the position you guys played, the hardest position to play. So I just don't think it will be fair to him because Belichick is more likely to succeed over the next decade because age don't matter in coaching. As long as you still got your brain, you don't have to use your body. And I already see those columns being written. Is Tom Brady tarnishing his legacy? And I just think it's unfair.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt that it's harder to have that longevity as a player than it is to have longevity as a coach. And looking at what Tom Brady has done in just his 40s, winning a championship and an MVP,
yeah.
I mean, we haven't seen any player at that level at that age. So I think you have to appreciate that level of greatness from Tom Brady. You can't take that away from him, even if he's forced to go somewhere else and play and not be nearly at the same level in terms of team success that he was when he was with the New England Patriots. So no matter what the next chapter of football looks like for Tom Brady, he's still going to be viewed, or still should be viewed, as the greatest quarterback of all time.